and welcome to another episode of the Juan Words Podcast. And my name is Angelica Casares.
And I'm Juan Alanis.
Welcome. Oh my God, did you miss us? Because we missed you. It's been weeks.
It's been a minute. Yeah, it's Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving? Since it's been since
I think it was after Thanksgiving that we
It was after Thanksgiving, was it?
Yeah, I think it was like the beginning of... It was somewhere in November, December when...
It was my birthday. We didn't record for my birthday.
No, we didn't record before that. I don't think we did. We didn't. I think we had an episode maybe the week of Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And that was the last episode.
That was it?
That must have been like around that time was the last episode we recorded.
Oh my God, so it's been weeks.
And
so it's been about 6 weeks since we last talked to you. And not intentional, but very much intentional. I don't know how to explain that.
Well, we had, I think we had the intention of saying like, hey, happy holidays. We're going to take like, at least saying like, we're going to take a break or something.
Yeah.
And then, we just didn't get back in the studio to record and we just,
It's been a while since
one day turned to weeks and next
it's
thing
been a while since we've actually been in the studio itself. We this is our office actually, and this is like our studio office that we haven't even been in for like the last month and a half. And it's just been, I don't know how to explain this. There's been a lot that has basically happened, but it's not like actual things that have happened. It's just, I guess it was a mental break that we needed. And we didn't even come on here to say, hey, we're going to take a mental break. I think our minds and our bodies just told us, shut the fuck up and do it. Sit your fucking ass down and just take it because you need it. And so that's what we did. We listened.
That sounds aggressive.
It was very aggressive. Yes, it was. I'm sorry.
Just sit down and take it.
Take it. No. It was more one of those like, okay, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to take a break. And we took a break, and I think things. I think very much just needed break.
I think things just started slowing down, and when they started slowing down, it was easy to just kind of
nothing was slowing down.
For me, it was like I feel like a lot of like my the day-to-day stuff that I normally am involved with, things started slowing down the last 2 weeks of the year, and so for me, it was easy to just kind of like roll into that and be like, okay, let me just like go with it, embrace it, and
for
like
me, Juan,
just let it, just kind of ride it out. And
for me, it got intense. It got really intense. We had been doing a lot of traveling up to Arkansas. And there has been a lot of talks in the works, a lot of things happening in the foreground, in the background, a lot of conversations, and it was intense, and it still is intense. But we just, before we made any decisions and before we like took any further steps of any kind, we needed to really have a lot of conversations. And so I think that's what was very much needed, where our brains kind of just they just kind of under themselves just sort of collapsed, and we're like, okay, y'all need to stop, take a break, talk and listen and really think about it.
Whatever it was, I enjoyed it.
Did you really?
I think I did. I enjoyed being like normally when the things slow down at the end of the year, because normally for like work things, like it'll always slow down at the end of the year. So but normally when it slows down, I usually find other things to keep me busy, to be like, oh, okay, well, what can I do now? What can I do in the meantime, in between time? What am I gonna do?
Did you do anything?
And this time I didn't really that's what I was saying earlier. Like I just kind of went with the flow. I didn't really like try to push myself to do too much, try to push myself to be like, oh, you have to be like super productive during this time. I was just like, you know what, let me just kind of like go with the flow, write it out, and then let, if inspiration hits, then it hits, and if I come up with ideas, and then it does. And I did come up, I did do a little bit of planning, like in between, where I was like, okay, I need to kind of organize this or think about this or think about that, but it wasn't anything as intense as I normally would make it, where and that's me making it myself, like me pushing myself to be like, okay, you need to be productive during this time. Yeah. This year I was kind of like, you know what, just be and let enjoy the holidays, enjoy like whatever, and just try to be in the moment. And like, the New Year's gonna be here soon enough, and you'll be busy again, so like just kind of go with it.
So the kid was here for Thanksgiving, and he was, I try to enjoy a lot of my time with my family around that time. He came and then he left. He went back to school and he did his finals, and that was part of it, right? It was his first semester in school and he was having a hard time, and so there was a lot of guiding for him also. I didn't want to be busy with anything else. I just wanted to lend myself to whatever he was going through and the things that he was doing. So there was that, and then of course and then he was back for the holidays over the winter break, basically a good 3 weeks,
about a month. No, almost a month. Yeah, almost a month. Maybe a little bit less. Yeah, because I think he left a little early, but yeah.
Yeah. So he was here for a little bit of time, and we got to spend time with him, and that was intense within itself, right? Because he comes back with a different mindset. He hasn't been home. He's been on his own, and a lot of God, raising a full adult is different. There was a lot of fights that happened. a lot of things were happening, and we couldn't figure it out, man, and it took us a while. For sure, it took us a while, and by the time we figured it out, all kinds of other shit happened, like fucking got COVID.
Well, when you say that, COVID. Like, you should say like we got COVID. The two of us got COVID.
We got COVID.
So we found out on New Year's. Man. We found out on New Year's Eve that we had COVID because I kind of already knew that I had it because I just kind of like had started feeling like scratchy throat, and I started feeling funny. And I was telling you, I was like, I think I'm pretty sure that I have it. I think that you might have it too. So because of me.
It started with the kid.
Yeah.
So when he got back, he was seeing people, he was like going out doing stuff and coming home, and he just and I didn't, you don't want to like hinder, he has his vaccine, we have our vaccine. We're so stupid, we didn't get the stupid booster when we should have back in fucking November. And so
well, some people have been getting it with the booster anyway, so
I understand, but hear me out. Let me tell you why. I mean, I understand people are getting it with the booster, with the vaccine, with everything. The problem is, I don't think we would have been down for so long, and we've gone through like the entirety of what we actually did, because it wasn't like bad. It wasn't bad. Ours were for sure like not my experience with COVID wasn't like mild. I was sick, dude. Like I was sick. And for me, it was scary the second day. It got really scary the second day. So like had I gotten the booster, maybe I wouldn't have experienced such intensity of the actual sickness itself.
Well, for me, like I feel like it wasn't that. For me, I feel like it was mild because I feel like the only thing that I got was like I got a cough, and the first day that I tested, I think that same night when I found out that I was positive, that same night I had like a fever, and I felt like I sweated it out. Like I feel like I woke up and I was sweating it, and
you don't sweat out a fever.
And I woke up and I felt like I was sweating it out. So I was like, by the time I woke up in the morning, I was like, okay, well, I don't have a fever anymore, but I feel like I know the last night I had a kind of a tough night. But after that, like I had like a cough that was pretty like intense. And that was the main thing I think that I had was a cough. I had congestion. That was a weird thing for me.
You still have congestion.
Like I guess the weirdest thing for me was that, like when I would take showers, I would get exhausted in the shower.
Oh yeah.
I would get like and there was one day that my heart rate did go up. And that made me nervous. That was the one thing that kind of scared me, because I was like, oh crap, like I'm already prone to like have like heart issues. So I was like, oh crap, like what if I like have a heart attack or something in the middle of the night? And I'm like, and so that was the scary part for me.
It was scary to see you like going through that, because that night I didn't sleep because I was so worried about you. You kept like, and in the middle of the night you kept like, you were like and like you kept tossing, and I was like, fuck, man.
And so but I remember I remember when I had like early on when the COVID-19 thing happened, and I saw people that were getting it, like reporters and stuff, and they were talking about it. That they would say one of the things that they always said was like, stay active, or like don't just sit down. Even if you feel tired, don't just sit there.
Yeah.
And so I think we kept pushing ourselves to like walk and to like move on, to stay active, to not like be sitting down, because
we weren't pushing ourselves. We were. Oh, go ahead. So I'll tell my experience, but go ahead with yours.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I felt like we were like a little bit. We were pushing ourselves to kind of stay active, because we were, you know, it was like, it was easy to kind of feel like, oh, okay, I don't feel that great. Let me like stay in bed for a little bit longer. Let me like just kind of have a relaxed day. Was kind of my like I'm feeling at first, like, you know, let me just kind of chill. But then I was like, no, I don't want to. I mean, I've heard that you're not supposed to chill. You're supposed to like be active. So I was like, I was under the house. When I was under the house for like one day in the middle when it was really cold, and I think that made my cough worse.
He made himself sicker. Yeah.
But I think in the bigger picture, it was helpful, because I actually was like physically like moving around when I had my peak days of the COVID with me. So I think that like helped me in the long run.
So from my end, from both of us being sick, here's what I do know. Some of us don't take it as we should. Some of us do things like wrap the pipes in the middle of having a fever and being cold, and all that cold air like on your body for a long period, exposed times, can do something to you, especially if you're laying on your back. And you know that anyway. What I've learned is that some people even don't want help being taken care of. They think they know better and they do for themselves. So with that being said,
is that shade throwing at me?
Of course it is. Juan. With that being said,
I think it was helping myself.
Yeah, that same night was the night that you had like felt dizzy in the shower, and you got at that worst. And I had to like I kept trying to keep an eye on him. I was sick, and I kept trying to keep an eye on him, and I couldn't go to sleep because I was so afraid that, you know, that he was going to get sicker. And so here I am staying up, and I didn't get to go to sleep till later. Well, let me tell you, let's back roll here. Let's start here. So New Year's the 31st is when we really were like, I think we are sick. Let's go get tested. Because at this point I was feeling a little like, you know, when you have a head cold and you're kind of like, you feel like you're on like kind of the clouds, you're like not all there. And by this, we were already having like full on blown fights, because our relationship is just, you know, conversations just needed to be had, and you know, whatever. So we're like at each other's throats. Edgar is home and he's at like our throats, and we're trying to figure it out, and we can't figure this out. And in the middle of this, all of us break out in COVID. So here we are. It's this intense family thing happening, right? Then finally, me and Juan get ourselves to a place where we can test. And so we do. We go, we get tested. And that same day, because we wake up in the morning, we go do the test. That same day, before I got the results, I was already out. Like I had already started feeling like not well. The night before, I actually had some stomach issues, and I was like, fuck, maybe not, I don't know. But the next day, you know, we went to go get tested, and I was feeling bad, and I was laying on the sofa, and Edgar's like, Mom, you okay? And I was like, I think I'm sick. I was like, but I'll get the results, you know, whatever. Sure enough, not that much later, I opened my phone and I got the results, and sure enough, I was COVID positive. So I was like, fuck. Okay, what do I do? And I was like, well, this might not be bad for me. It might be mild because I have the vaccine. So I kind of rough through it, and I'm not feeling well, and my heart rate is going up, and so is my fever, because my fever is going up and my heart rate is like overworking itself, right? My body is overworking itself to bring down the fever. And throughout the entire night, I kept going to the restroom and I couldn't settle in, and I kept getting anxious. So I woke up the next day and I was just in full fluster. Like it felt intense. And I was like, fuck. And I would check my blood pressure and it was high. And then my fever was high. And I was like, I can't fucking get it down. And so that's when it got like kind of scary for me. I was like, I can't get my fucking fever down. My fever, I've had a fever for over 10, like almost over 12 hours at this point. And I was like, I can't get it down. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go to an urgent care or an ER to try to get this fever down. One, because that's what I needed to do. At this point, if I had a fever, that meant I had an infection, which probably was either my throat or like and my sinus. I don't know where it was at, but I had already been dealing with like sinus issues and allergies, and so I probably already had an infection from that. And on top of COVID, it just kind of intensified it. So I go to an ER room. I try to go in urgent care, but like all the urgent care centers are like packed, and I was like, okay, maybe I can go to an ER room, right? I put out of pocket, you know, the cost of it, and I'm okay with that because I was like, I need to get better. I need this fever to come down. So I go to the ER, and they prescribe me a plethora of things, right? Antibiotics, steroids, an inhaler, everything that at this point, it's like a kit for people with COVID. And they do a chest x-ray just to make sure. They said, you're lucky. There's nothing in your chest. You have nothing there, but you have a fever. We need to get your fever down. Need to get you antibiotics, which was the Z-Pack, and we need to get you steroids, and here's the inhaler. And they're like, if you feel bad, come back. And I was like, all right, because again, I had the fever already. So that day, I finally get my fever down, and the doctor was like, don't even check your fever. Don't even check to see if you have it. You're going to have it. I need you to do this. Every 4 hours, you're going to take Tylenol and then Advil. And you're going to take high doses. So it's like a bunch of Tylenol, a bunch of Advil. And then take a bunch of vitamin D, take a zinc, and vitamin C. And I was like, okay, so we like, it was a whole like thing of like trying to like get this together. And so for the next 2 days, I was able to get my fever down. But then it came with like body aches and like, you know, and we were still kind of in the middle of these arguments that we were having. And even then we couldn't shut the hell up. We couldn't even like not fight with each other to try to get better. And so that we were stressing ourselves out also on top of all of that. We couldn't figure it out. So by day 5, I started to feel what they talk about, that foggy brain. Did you ever get it?
The foggy brain?
Yeah.
I don't think I got a foggy brain, but there were like just times where I was like,
I did.
Where I was just like, it was hard for me to keep up with things or like remember things or.
Oh, okay.
But it was just like, but it not a lot. Like I think the most that I got was like I said when I did take a shower, like those few times where I did feel like I just got tired, more tired than I've never gotten tired taking a shower. So I was like, okay, this is weird. Must be related to COVID.
Yeah.
And so I did skip a few days that I was like, okay, I'm not gonna take up a shower because I didn't want to feel like that again.
Yeah.
So I just was avoiding it, and I was like, maybe it's because it was cold and I was taking a bath with hot water and this and that. But no, I mean I don't think I got foggy brain.
So we found out Sunday, and then by Thursday I was getting like foggy brain, and I couldn't react to things fast or quick. I was getting shaky, like my body, like my neurological body, like you could tell it was like a neuropathy thing because I've had it in the past. And so it was affecting like my nerves basically. And I had like a shaky arm, like I couldn't think straight. And I was like, okay, I really need to relax. And that day, like it wiped me out. Like I was like, fuck, like I'm really tired. Like I'm really, really tired, but I don't want to go to sleep or not go to sleep. I was like, but I was so anxious to like get over it. And I just wanted to get over it. And I was getting like, ya me estaba desesperando. Like I was getting like, you know, desperate or something. And I get that anxious feeling. I was like, what the fuck, man? And so anyways, so Thursday, and then Friday rolls around and I'm still kind of feeling a little shaky, not still on my best. And then by Saturday, I was like, okay, I have to do something. So at this point, we're like walking. We're getting up every day. Like Juan said, we're getting up every day and we're taking walks because that's what they say. Get up and walk. Get up and walk. Like move your body. So we do. We go to the park and we do like not overexerting ourselves, not walking fast, just like, one round, we get back in the car and, we kind of go about. And at this point, Edgar's not even at home. He's like off staying somewhere else because he has his friend who came over from school and who's trying to spend time with him, but he can't be at our house because we're going to get him sick. And Edgar, has gotten over it at this point. And so we're trying to take care of each other. And then we're trying to like get over this. And so by Saturday, I was like, I got to do something. Like I can't sit still. So I take it upon myself to start painting walls. Quick interruption. If you're listening to this podcast, you're listening to Apple Podcasts, please leave us a rate and a review and let us know what you think. What we really encourage you to do is leave us a like, a review. The more reviews you leave, the more likes we get, the more people actually are out there to find us. Maybe we're not your cup of tea, but we might be your crazy cousin's cup of tea. Go let her know we're out here. Any thoughts, Juan?
No,
Did I miss anything?
Thank you for listening.
Oh, thank you for listening. Yes, thank you for listening. I started to paint the fucking walls because I was like, I need to do something. Like I need to physically do something because otherwise I'm not gonna. And I'm like tiring myself out. And I'm like sweating. Right? It's cold, and I'm like sweating because I'm like I'm moving more than I probably should. So I'm taking breaks. I'm getting up, and I'm like, okay, I need to move. Okay, I need to move. Okay, I need to move. And then I do it again Sunday, and I felt much better by Sunday. And so by today, we're recording today, Sunday to Sunday, right? Monday. Today I feel much. Is today's Monday?
Today's Monday, yeah.
So by today, I feel like about 95% myself before COVID.
Well, I mean, that's what I was telling you. Like, I think like I was a day. I think I was a day or two ahead of you because I think I started noticing that I was feeling sick like a day or two before you, and that's why I was like, okay, we probably should get tested because I just figured that that I probably had it because they were saying that the Omicron variant was so much stronger and that it was like hitting so many people. I think around that time it was like 200,000 people a day were getting it, and so I was like, I'm pretty sure that that's what I've got right now.
The 30th at night is when you started to feel not that well.
Yeah, and that's when
it was the 31st that I started not to feel well.
Yeah, so I was like a day. I think I've been like a day ahead of you. So like when I felt better, like I started feeling better probably like Saturday, and then you were like, "Oh, I still feel kind of bad," and I was like, "Yeah, you're like a day behind, like me, in terms of your symptoms, because we've had pretty similar symptoms overall."
Yeah, but you kept taking like breaks, and I couldn't understand why you just kept laying there and you kept taking naps.
When?
Like throughout the time.
Oh, like it was hard for me to concentrate. I guess that was the one thing. I guess it was hard for me to concentrate on like on emails, and that's probably another reason why I kind of just took it slower than normal because I just even if I wanted to, like it was hard for me to just sit in front of the computer and actually concentrate. I was just kind of like I would sit there and my mind would just be like, what was I doing, or what am I supposed to be like? And I just was like, okay, I need to just like get, I don't have to be like on it right now. So I just kind of like allowed myself to be a little bit more lax. But yeah, it did like make me like more lethargic and more like or I didn't want to do it. But I mean, I think once I started feeling better, like I felt you could feel the difference. It was a significant enough difference where I was like, oh, okay, like today's the first day that I want to be in front of my computer and like be answering emails and like doing this and that. And
oh, you actually wanted to be in front of the computer.
And I was being productive, and I was like, oh, okay, like my mind was functioning again.
Yeah. That's how I felt today. Like my energy of creativity like came back.
Yeah, like and that's what I'm saying. Like I think the good thing is that the Omicron variant, like from what reports anyways, is that it's supposed to have like less severe like symptoms.
It's supposed to be
not supposed to be as strong as the other variants that were out there.
Less severe symptoms, but the caveat is that it's supposed to be more contagious.
Yeah, and I thought like we would test negative because they were saying they changed it to the 5-day thing, but like we're at like day 10 and we're still testing positive even though we feel better.
Yeah, at this point I think because we're gonna go test tomorrow. This would be our last test, and I'm probably almost like 100% sure we're gonna test negative.
Yeah.
But we tested Saturday.
Yeah.
Was it Saturday? And we came back positive. Yeah, but
and
like I said, we weren't feeling all that great. But I think we'll test negative by this. So I think between 8 to 10 days is when you start to test negative. So that's when I'll feel comfortable like really going to like what I miss the most is like sitting down at a restaurant to eat.
But what I think really helped me was ginger tea, like actual ginger tea.
Oh, tell them what you did. Tell them what you did. Because it helped me too.
Well, what I did is I just took ginger, because I was drinking the ginger packets, like the ginger lemon packets that they sell you, because we had that at the house, and it was kind of helping me. It wasn't, but then what I did is I went to the grocery store and I actually bought ginger, natural, the root, and so I just cut up pieces of ginger and boiled it, and then I would just add honey and add lemon, half a lemon, and then just drink that. So I think I made that a few times, and the first time that I made it, like I immediately felt more like like my congestion went down a little bit, and I just felt a little bit even more clear-minded, where it did like make me feel better. So I made it a few more times, and it actually worked. I felt like that was a big help.
For me, it soothed my throat. So it helped with the mucus.
Yeah.
But for those, Z-Pack, get yourself a Z-Pack, steroids, make sure you keep that fever down, do the high dose, just keep the fever down for like 2 days, and that should be able to break that fever, whatever infection it is that you have, to the Z-Pack, the antibiotics and steroids start working. And the inhaler, I only use it in the morning and at night, when I would wake up and right before I would go to bed. And then, you know what helps, and I've heard everybody say that this helps, and it helped me that day when I bought it, Mucinex.
Oh yeah, I took that too. I took that too because my
pill form. Yeah,
I did talk to the doctor. I talked to my doctor too virtually, and I guess I got diagnosed Friday, and I talked to him on Monday in the afternoon, and he just prescribed Mucinex and some other like allergy pill or something. But it's funny because I feel like the doctors can't really do much when they're like talking to you on the virtual call. They're just kind of like, well, what do you feel, this and that, and they just ask you questions, and you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna prescribe you Mucinex or whatever. And
yeah, it helped that day. Remember I told you I took it and I was like, whoa, I felt like I was on cloud 9. I was like, holy shit, I felt fucked up.
But I didn't feel anything with Mucinex. I didn't feel anything with Mucinex. Like I felt
you didn't?
I felt fine with it. But I already take a bunch of vitamins anyway, so like I take like
it didn't feel like a vitamin. It felt like I was like half fucking drunk.
No, I didn't feel anything. Fucked up. I guess my tolerance is high, but like I didn't feel anything. My bad. But no, I already take vitamin D. I already take zinc. I already take I take fiber and stuff like that on a regular basis. So it was just like, oh, okay, just add these more pills to like your regular routine of like pills that you're taking every day.
I did up my like highly up my intake of vitamin C, D, and zinc. So instead of 1 zinc, I took 2, and instead of 1 pill of vitamin D, I think I took 3 to 4, depending on the day. And then vitamin C, I just like upped it. Like I was like at 6 pills.
But I am looking forward to getting a negative test because I do want to get the booster now, because I'm like, okay, now that we didn't get it before, like I feel like now that we've had this, now we need to go ahead and get it.
We're idiots.
And just have it, because I mean in that first couple of days where we were feeling the effects of it a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
And they have that I forgot what monoclonal whatever, like that injection you're supposed to be able to get if you have COVID to help you.
The infusion.
It's supposed to be like an infusion that you're supposed to get, but we were trying to get it, and we were calling around, and everybody was like, It's very short supply. There's not really enough.
Yeah, it's
It's
short
only for like
supply.
emergencies and this and that. So,
Not emergency for older people who have COVID, who
who are
have
experiencing like difficulty
Yeah.
breathing and things like that. So,
Yeah.
I mean that like when you think about it, that's scary because I'm like, what
Yeah.
if like so I have to wait until like I'm actually like I can't breathe
Sick, yeah.
before you are gonna give me like by chance if there is that infusion that maybe I can get it.
It might work.
So that was scary. And I mean I think the other thing is like for the like you realize that you come into contact with so many people that
Throughout your day, yeah.
it becomes like a little bit like nerve-wracking, like, oh man, like how do you know if somebody's actually vaccinated or not, and if you know that they're not, like that,
Yeah, at
that
this
you
point,
could
it's
have
not even about being
that
vaccinated. It's
you
how
could
do you
have,
know
like-
if they're not sick or not? Yeah.
right, that you could have infected them. And then the other thing is like that's the other thing is like you have to kind of trust people on their word that like, oh yeah, I'm vaccinated, oh yeah, I don't have any symptoms right
I
now.
feel okay. And the thing is that
because you never know like what
we
somebody
know-
could be experiencing.
we probably know for sure where we got it, and it was through Edgar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, like we had a talk like afterwards. I was like, all right, kid, next time you come to the house, you're going to have to quarantine. You're going to have to stay put, spend time with us. And then if you want to spend time with your friends, then you're going to have to start wearing a mask around us. Like we had to have that talk. And because we were very relaxed. We were very relaxed on ourselves. We didn't even bother. We kept talking about, oh, we'll get the booster. Yeah, we'll get the booster.
Well,
It's not a problem.
I was telling somebody
Like, why didn't we get it? We're so stupid.
Well, I was telling somebody about having COVID today on a phone call, and I was listening to myself, and I was like, I probably sound really irresponsible right now, because I was like, well, we did get a little bit relaxed, and we were kind
We
of
did
going.
get very relaxed.
We did go a few places without wearing a mask, and especially me.
I was going to places with the
Especially
mask.
me, like, I
kept
was kinda
turning
like-
around, and I kept having to hand you a mask and be like, put on the fucking mask.
Because I was like, for me, I was just kind of like, like if it wasn't so crowded, I was like, okay, it's fine. Or if it was like,
Yeah.
if I felt like it was like, and this is just me, like I guess I felt it was a safer environment, then I was like, okay, I don't need to wear a mask. And I think that's like what gets you, I guess, is like if you start getting too cocky about it, it's like, oh, it's fine, I don't need it. And in reality, like, I mean, it can hit you anytime because, like, we can say it was from Edgar, but the reality is that we were exposed out a few times too, so who knows where it came from in all reality.
In all reality, we don't know, obviously,
Yeah.
right? Because we don't know the source. But we know the source. No, but I think we shouldn't have been so relaxed on it. We should have gotten our booster. Mm-hmm. We should have known that we had already heard that there was a wave coming, and we should just have put on the mask like back on. And we could have. I think we could have potentially like made a better judgments to prevent it. That included the kid when he came home and been like, okay, we're gonna test you. You're gonna have to stay put until we get a negative test, and if you want to see your friends, then you're gonna have to, start to separate from us, and we're gonna have to do less. But please spend some time with us, and definitely spend time with your friends, and you do what you have to. But I think after seeing us sick, I think he was like, oh fuck. You know what I mean? He was definitely like, oh man, like it. You could tell, like it bothered him, and I was like, fuck, like we should have the conversation beforehand. But I was so excited to see him, and I wanted him to have a good time while he's here. I'm not trying to hold on to him, and I'm not trying to get him to do like stuff for me or with me. I wanted him to be himself, and we struggled a little bit, and it was a whole anyway. So that's what happened to us basically through our.
Moral of the story is if you're not vaccinated, you should get vaccinated. If you're not boosted, you should get boosted. And you should wear your mask.
Yeah.
We're wearing it again.
Okay, look, I'm not trying to tell people what to do.
Well, I am. Wear your damn mask.
I'm not trying to tell people what to do. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. How to
Wear with a mask.
How you want to do it and how you don't want to do it. That's not what I'm trying to do. I encourage that you get vaccinated because it can help,
Put on your freaking mask.
I encourage that you stop it, Juan. I encourage that you get your booster shot. I encourage that when these waves, because it's always around the holidays, it's going to happen again around Easter, right when people start seeing each other on Easter, right before and right after. Like, start getting used to wearing that mask around those high times. We knew that this wave was coming after Thanksgiving, after everybody started seeing each other. We knew that this was going to happen again, and just start wearing your mask again. It's sooner or later this is going to go away, but until then we have to continue taking care of each other. And so anyway, so that's what happened. It's been a month-long thing for us. So after all of that, because I did mention earlier that we were like in conversation of our relationship, and there's a lot happening. That's a whole other topic and conversation that I'm going to bring on here. Basically, we're going to talk about that, not necessarily the conversations we're having, but our relationship and where we're at with it, and things that are happening, because I think it's interest for those who are married. Our friends who are married, our friends who are going through things and who are trying to, stay together, be happy. Not just stay together, but be happy while you're together, not be miserable in a relationship with your partner. So that's a conversation coming soon.
Are you trying to
what?
Make promises on camera? So it's gonna happen.
No, it's gonna happen because
okay.
it's actually on my list of recorded sessions that we need to record.
Might be later on in December of 2022.
No, it's coming.
December of 2022.
Probably
Stay tuned.
The next episode.
December 2022. Stay tuned.
It's coming, guys. And usually he never knows where we were having a conversation about it. I just get kind of I bring it up in different conversations, and he's like, "What? What are you trying to say?" And I'm like, "Oh."
I'm not trying to be Will Smith and Jada Pinkett.
Neither am I. No.
They put all their business out there.
Neither. We've already put half of our business out there. So if you want to go listen to the past episodes. We talk about our relationship and we say some crazy shit. But it'll be interesting for a conversation, because we do have friends who are married, and maybe this will spark a conversation with them also. It's worth having the conversation. It's worth speaking about these things. Sometimes, things start to break down. And it needs, either you need to purchase a new one or fix the old one or make it work. Not that I'm trying to replace you, sweetheart. I'm just trying to say that I'm just using metaphors. You know how I am with my fucking metaphors.
Hey, you're more than welcome to.
So what?
You're like, I'm gonna replace you with an old one. You're
no,
the old one, I'm gonna replace you with a new one. I'm like,
no, I mean the conversation. Oh my God, Juan, I swear to God, man, I swear this is why we can't have these conversations like this, because this is how it gets. No, I mean how some things just break and you just need to fix it. It just needs to be
I don't think your metaphors are working.
Oh my God. Anyway, it's for a conversation that I want to have on camera. I think it's worth a conversation to listen to. But that's where we've been. It's been a whole hoo-ha of things. a shitload of shit happening, man. But like I said, things are happening, but they didn't happen, but they did happen. That was our COVID story. I never thought I'd have a fucking COVID story. Never.
I think eventually, the reality is that a lot more people than not are gonna get COVID. So I think it was a matter of time before it actually
It wasn't a matter of time. It wasn't a matter
impacted us too.
It wasn't a matter of if. It was a matter of when.
Yeah.
I get that. I thought no, I'm being careful. I'm being it's to the point where my friends and family are like, God, it's too much, Angelica, you're doing too much. And I was like, no, I'm not doing too much. I'm not doing enough. Mm-hmm. That kind of thing. And I was like, stupid Omicron variant. Fuck fucking got us. That's what the fuck happened.
I mean, I'm glad that if we were to get it, it was the Omicron and it wasn't like the more severe version of the virus.
Who knows which version we got. But so anyway, that's our COVID story, and that's where we've been. Don't know if you've missed us. We've missed you. I've missed this microphone, man. I miss doing this. This here, it's like the heart of me. Like just getting on here and just talking, podcasting, having a conversation. Because we get feedback from you guys, and I live for this stuff. So I'm so happy to be behind the mic again. How do you feel?
I feel okay. I feel good.
You feel good? You feeling good?
Yeah, I feel fine. Like I feel like, I mean, it had been a minute, so I was like, I don't know, was that like the end of our of our podcast?
No.
I was like, maybe that was the end, and because I'm like at this point, I'm like at the point where I'm very like go with the flow. So I'm like, if it like naturally comes to an end, then it comes to an end.
Go with the flow.
If it continues, then it continues, but I don't want to force anything, so I'm just kind of like let it play out the way it's supposed to play out.
No, I'm here for the long run. Like this is what I'm doing. Like no, I'm trying to make this my full-time job.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm trying to like hi, what's up? Like hire me. I'll do voiceover. What do you want? Sexy? Or like no, like this is. I love the fucking microphone. If you cannot tell, I love this fucking microphone. Anyway. I'm gonna wrap this up because at this point we're just kind of la. But that's our story. That's where we've been. We've missed you. Let us know did you get hit with this COVID wave? Did you get hit? Like, did the wave come and sweep you away with the rest of us? How was it for you? How is it going for you? How's your family doing? How are you doing? Let us know.
All right. And with that, we'll see you next time. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.